Mark this day because tonight you're going to see exactly how deep the betrayal goes and how far America's willing to fight back. For years, one of our biggest so-called news networks, CNN, has been quietly helping illegal immigrants slip through ICE's fingers, not just reporting on it, actively showing them how to dodge law enforcement. But here's what they didn't count on. President Donald Trump's administration is done playing defense. States all across the country, from Florida's gator-infested Everglades to Alaska's bear country, they're now stepping up and they're building secret high-security camps to trap and remove these criminals for good. You think Alligator Alcatraz was shocking? Wait until you hear what's next. So today, I'm going to be exposing exactly how CNN's so-called underground ICE escape route actually works, okay? Who's behind this underground ICE escape route and how they profit from it, how millions of illegals have used it to hide in plain sight. But it gets even bigger than that, guys. I'm about to break down how these brand new secret detention fortresses, yes, they're real, how they're already filling up with the worst offenders, cartel thugs, violent criminals, traffickers. Meanwhile, mainstream media tries to hide the truth. And if you think that this ends at the Florida border, you would be dead wrong. Stephen Miller, he has a plan to roll these camps out nationwide, and we got the receipts. So do not go anywhere, because in just a minute, I'm going to reveal the secret app that CNN pushed to help illegals dodge ICE. And I'm going to show you why President Trump's big, beautiful bill is about to pull the rug out from every sanctuary state that thought that they could basically cheat the system forever. So this is the real war for America's borders. And today you're on the front line. So let's get into it. All right. So let's break down everything step by step, because the story is way bigger than just a sneaky app. By the way, if you appreciate the daily news updates, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. So first, the underground ICE escape route. Now, right now, as you're watching this, thousands, maybe even millions of people who broke our laws are staying one step ahead of deportation. Not because they're ghosts, but because they've got real-time help telling them exactly when to run. I know it sounds weird, but and who put that help in their pockets? CNN. They didn't just report about illegal immigration. They used their national megaphone to promote an app called ICE Block. Now, here's how it works. Imagine you're in a sanctuary city, right? You know ICE agents are planning a raid on your neighborhood. Well, with this app, anyone can mark a spot on the map where ICE is seen. And then all of a sudden, bam, the second that it's logged, every phone within 5 miles gets an alert. ICE spotted here. Get out, hide, evade. It's almost kind of like that Waze app. I don't know if anybody uses Waze, and like you get a notification that there's a cop on the side of the road. It kind of works the same way. Anyway, it's like the old radar detector for speed traps, except it's protecting people who already broke the federal law. So I know it's crazy. And CNN didn't just mention it in passing. They aired entire segments explaining how to use it. They brought on the app's developer to brag about how it helps illegals scatter before ICE shows up. They treated it like a tech feature story, but the truth is it's a digital underground railroad. How is this even legal? Anyway, it seems like that's obstructing justice or something like that. I'm not a lawyer. Anyway, so a direct line for criminals to slip away before law enforcement can come knocking on the door. But here's what you won't hear on CNN. Some of these people are not just quiet border crossers picking fruit. These are cartel runners, repeat offenders, child traffickers, dangerous felons who slipped in after being deported once or twice, or maybe even 3 times already. So now, President Donald Trump's Department of Homeland Security, led by Secretary Kristi Noem, is stepping in. They're not playing games here. This is the same DHS that, under President Trump's leadership, has already ramped up ICE arrests to levels that the left said were impossible just a year ago. Now, they're actually turning that same force inward. They're looking at who made this possible and why. The Department of Justice is weighing whether CNN crossed the line from journalism to criminal facilitation, because there's free speech, yes. And then there's also helping fugitives run, and that's totally different. And President Trump's team, love him or hate him, knows where that line is. And then they're not afraid to draw it in bold and clear writing. So think about this. Think about what this means. An entire mainstream media outlet with hundreds of millions in corporate sponsors might actually be held accountable for helping people break the law. Now, this is where you start to see why this really matters for the rest of us. Because the second CNN made it easier to hide from ICE, they made it harder to protect your neighborhood, your schools, your tax dollars, and your kids. And that brings us to the smart, strategic part of all of this, because this isn't just about punishing CNN or scrubbing an app off the App Store. It's about cutting off the escape routes that criminals and traffickers have used for decades, loopholes that past presidents ignored because they were just too busy worried about looking mean. President Trump doesn't care about looking mean. I'll tell you that right now. He cares about keeping you safe. And DHS under Kristi Noem isn't acting alone. The Department of Justice is fully aligned with this mission. Their prosecutors are reviewing evidence, connecting the dots, and making the case airtight, because the second they prove that CNN knowingly encouraged obstruction of federal agents, that's a felony charge, plain and simple. And if that sticks, trust me, guys, it won't stop with CNN. Every other news outlet that tries to pull that same stunt, they're done. Or at least they'll think twice before they hand criminals a free escape map ever again. And so this is what smart leadership looks like. You draw the line once, make it ironclad, and then you send the message loud enough that the next would-be traitor thinks twice. But here's the real kicker. This is only the start, because I'm about to break down exactly how all of this, the app, the hidden raids, the sanctuary state loopholes, how all of this ties back to something much, much bigger. The quiet way illegals hiding from ICE are shifting your political power. And this isn't just about crime. It's about seats in Congress, electoral votes, who wins the White House. And when you see how President Trump's next move, the 2026 Census crackdown, fits into this puzzle, you're going to see exactly why the left fears what comes next more than anything. So don't blink, guys. Hit the like button, share this with someone who needs to know, and get ready, because we're about to look at exactly how hidden illegals equals stolen votes, and why President Trump's team is about to shut it all down for good. Now, too many folks think that their local broker is their best friend. Guys, I'm here to tell you, your local broker is not your best friend. You're just a client, right up until they realize that they're paying more than they should every single month. Now, this is exactly why I partnered with Chapter, to help you break free from bad advice that's costing you real money. I mean, just ask Julie from Kansas. She said, my local broker scammed me into a plan that cost me extra just to see my own doctor. One call to Chapter, and now I'm saving $400 a year. Huge for me. Guys, amazing, right? Well, it doesn't stop there. Sharon Bertusik, who thought she had lost everything when Medicaid kicked her off, she said, Chapter got me a plan with $0 premiums, zero drug costs, and my copay dropped from $89 to $20. I thought it was hopeless until I called. Wow. I mean, the testimonials just don't stop. And they didn't settle for overpaying. And neither should you guys. Give our friends at Chapter a call right now and see what they can do for you. The call is totally free, no obligation. Phone number is 909-563-8279. Or better yet, go to their website right now. There's a link in the pinned comment at askchapter.org/Ron. This is what happens when you have the right partner. All right, so let's go ahead and break open the real reason why all of this matters so much more than just a hidden app or a CNN scandal. All right, I want to talk about the real stakes, guys. When millions of illegal immigrants stay hidden, when they know exactly when to run, where to run, and who's telling them to run, it's not just about them. It's about you. It's about your family, your neighborhood, your town's budget, your kid's school. You see what I'm saying here? Because here's the blunt truth that CNN won't say on air. The ones using this escape network aren't just migrant workers. Guys, we're talking about repeat border crossers who have been deported before and came right back. We're talking about traffickers, violent criminals, cartel foot soldiers who slip into drug runs and run drugs, and gangs across our cities. Every single time ICE plans a raid, they do it for a reason. They're not wasting time busting down a door for fun. They're targeting people with serious criminal records. So when that raid fails, because CNN or some other mouthpiece broadcasts the coordinates in advance, that means one more predator stays loose in your neighborhood. Now, Stephen Miller, I think he said it best. These are not poor, harmless wanderers with backpacks full of dreams. These are often repeat felons. And when they slip away, guess who picks up the tab? Oh, you do. More crime, more strain on schools, more money for sanctuary cities that refuse to help ICE round up the worst of the worst. Meanwhile, local police get stretched thinner and thinner while the feds get painted as the villains. You see the problem here, guys? But it doesn't stop at crime and safety. This ties straight into the census. And if you think that that sounds boring, well, stick with me, guys, because this is where the rig really happens. So here's how it works. Every 10 years, the census counts every person living in the U.S., not just citizens. That means if millions of illegal immigrants hide successfully thanks to escape routes like CNN's tips, then they get counted too. And so why does this matter? Because that total population count decides how many House seats a state gets in Congress. It decides how many electoral votes that state has when we pick a president. You see where I'm going with this right here? So who benefits from more people staying hidden but counted? Sanctuary states like California and New York. The bigger the illegal population, the more seats they pick up, the more power they hold in Congress, the more electoral votes that they swing blue when it's time to count ballots for the president. You see the problem here, right? And so who loses? States like Florida and Texas, places actually enforcing the law. They lose seats that they should have because the rigged head count props up sanctuary strongholds. So President Trump knows this game inside out. In fact, we all know what happened during the 2020 election, right? He tried to stop it before, and the courts blocked him with nationwide injunction. But here's the good news. All of that is over. Just last week, the Supreme Court ruled that these nationwide injunctions cannot be used to freeze the president's constitutional powers anymore. So what exactly does that mean, Ron? Well, it means Trump's team is moving to make sure that illegals are not counted in the next census, the 2026 census that's about to decide America's political map for the next decade. Now, if that happens, states like California could lose up to 5 seats. Democrats could lose up to 20 House seats when the real count happens. And all of that leverage that they use to protect sanctuary cities, well, gone in one sweep. So this is why this so-called escape route, it's not just about helping somebody hop the fence. It's about hiding them in the shadows just long enough to game the system every 10 years. But this time, guys, they've got a major problem. President Trump's a step ahead this time. His DHS is a step ahead. His DOJ is a step ahead. And now red states, Florida, Texas, maybe even Alaska next, they're stepping up to trap the ones who thought that they could just run forever. So if you're asking why Alligator Alcatraz, why Bear Alcatraz, why secret camps, it's not cruelty. It's common sense. Shut the back door, cut off the hiding places, and make sure that when the census hits, every seat goes to American citizens. Now, of course, I'm going to talk about exactly how Florida's Alligator Alcatraz works, why this was built in 8 days flat, how states are copying it, and how National Guard judges will be making sure that these criminals don't sit in limbo for years. Now, trust me, guys, you're going to want to hear what Stephen Miller's plan is for turning this into a nationwide fortress network. All right, so now you see why this so-called escape route matters, right? And why it goes so much deeper than just a sneaky app or a media spin. Now, let's talk about the fight back, the piece CNN doesn't want you to know about, the secret camps that are ready. You see, it all started right here in Florida. President Trump's home base for getting things done fast. When DHS and ICE ran out of detention beds because President Trump orders to round up criminal illegals are actually being enforced, the state needed thousands more spaces, and they needed them yesterday. So what did Florida do? Well, they didn't wait around for Washington red tape. Governor Ron DeSantis, he took an abandoned airstrip in the heart of the Everglades and in just 8 days turned it into what we now call Alligator Alcatraz. Now, this isn't some empty scare story. It's actually real. 3,000 beds, fully secured, perimeter, wrapped in barbed wire, high-level surveillance. But the real genius move here, Mother Nature itself. A deep moat filled with extra alligators. Not just for show, these natural guardians make it nearly impossible to escape without a very bad day. Let's just say that. But here's what makes this very smart, not cruel. Inside, you'll find proper medical care, clean bunk beds, secure living conditions, and fast processing. No giant cages, no endless wait. Instead, Florida used emergency powers to deputize National Guard judges right on site. So this means somebody caught by ICE won't wait 3, 4, 5 years for a hearing like under past administrations. They'll see a judge within days. And if they're cleared, they go back. But if they're criminals, they're out fast. So to me, that is strategic compassion. Safe for officers, safe for law-abiding Americans, fair process, and no revolving door. Now, here's where it gets even bigger. Stephen Miller, President Trump's policy bulldog, he's making it clear. He's making the blueprint for this entire nation. Stephen Miller just went on air and called out every Republican governor in America. If Florida can do it in 8 days, so can you. And if you don't have alligators, use what you do have. He even joked about bear Alcatraz in Alaska. Same idea. Local wildlife as a natural barrier, saving taxpayers millions of dollars in security fences and high-tech nonsense. But the serious point here, this isn't just Florida's problem anymore, guys. Every red state that wants to protect its people, stop human trafficking, shut down cartel safe routes, and plug the census loophole can do exactly what Florida did today. They can tap 287 grams that let state and local cops work as ICE deputies, instead giving them federal backup and full authority to round up known criminals and hold them until they're out of the country for good. Guys, this 287G law is there for a reason, and it's brilliant. It's legal, and it's the exact kind of state-federal teamwork that Washington insiders never wanted you to see that actually works. Now, under President Trump, it's happening because he's not here to manage decline. He's here to get results. And what's even better, this is not about punishing everyday immigrants. It's about cutting the head off the cartel stake. It's about draining the profits from the human traffickers who exploit the border and use CNN's hidden escape route to shuffle people like chess pieces. So if you ask yourself, if you were a cartel runner right now, hearing that Florida's got this new moat of, full of gators and a judge waiting for you tomorrow morning, you really think you're going to roll the dice and on sneaking across that line again? I don't think so. And that's the whole point. A smart strategic wall doesn't have to be steel. Sometimes it's a swamp full of reptiles that cost next to nothing to feed. And sometimes it's just the knowledge that the loophole is gone and the hammer will drop if you get caught. And guess what? These camps, these secret fortresses, they're not just an idea anymore. They're ready. The blueprint is real. The beds are built. The alligators are in the moat. The alligators are hungry. The National Guard is trained, and more states are starting to line up to do the same thing. But here's what you got to remember. The pushback is coming. I mean, you think the media is melting down now? Oh, wait until you hear what the Democrats and legacy media are screaming about this and how President Trump's team is flipping that spin right back in their faces. All right, so we've already laid out how states like Florida are stepping up, building these secret fortresses, these camps, and they're daring the cartels to even try to run the same old play. But you know what happens next? Oh, you guessed it. The Democrats and legacy media lose their minds. I mean, already, state lawmakers here in Florida, the same ones who cheered for sanctuary city loopholes, the same ones who let violent offenders back onto your streets, they're calling these secure detention centers disgusting, dehumanizing, and even political theater. Guys, they're going on camera tearing up. Just yelling about human rights and, fake crying and all while they won't say a single word about CNN helping criminals slip past ICE. They're outraged that there's barbed wire and bunk beds. But they're not outraged about fentanyl traffickers using the CNN escape map to dodge raids and dump poison in our schools. They're not worried about that, though. They call it cruel that the use of alligators in the Everglades is taking place. But it's not cruel that American families bury their kids because a cartel supplied fentanyl that these same criminals helped to push. You see the point that I'm making here, right? So let's get real, guys. What's more dehumanizing? A fair, humane detention center with a quick hearing and a free flight back home? Now, I can't guarantee it's going to be first class, but it's a free flight. Or letting violent gang members run loose in neighborhoods where kids ride their bikes and grandmas walk to church, right? So this is the simple truth President Trump keeps hammering home. Putting American citizens first is not cruel. It's common sense. What's cruel is stripping working families of safety, draining your tax dollars to feed sanctuary states, and then telling you that you're heartless if you dare to say enough, right? The legacy media, the same CNN that pushed the escape route in the first place, they're trying to flip the story. How dare you build a camp in the swamp? How dare you deport criminals fast? Really? I mean, they would rather Americans just shut up and keep paying the bill. That's what they would rather happen. But here's what they didn't count on. President Trump's not just enforcing the law, he's funding the fight. And that's where the big, beautiful bill slams the door shut. This bill, which just scrapped through the Senate, thanks to Vice President J.D. Vance and J.D. Vance's tie-breaking vote, is bigger than any immigration measure we've seen in decades. I mean, it's not just border wall money for, or a few new ICE vans. No, it's a whole lot more than that. It's a complete reset. The big, beautiful bill does three things at once. So the big, beautiful bill, it locks in President Trump's 2017 tax cuts permanently. No more games. You keep more of your money. The big, beautiful bill delivers the largest spending cut in U.S. history, slashing the bloat and redirecting resources to protect citizens instead of funding loopholes for fraudsters. And it funds the biggest border security and mass deportation push America has ever seen. More beds, more officers, more detention centers, more National Guards, and yes, more alligators if you got them. So under the old way, ICE would round up a violent repeat offender only to cut them loose with a court date years away because there weren't enough beds. Now, under the big, beautiful bill, they stay in Alligator Alcatraz or maybe even Bear Alcatraz or Cactus Alcatraz or whatever fortress your state builds, right? And they see a judge in days, not years. And remember this, guys, all those same people wailing about fiscal responsibility. Guys, this bill saves you money. It slashes billions in giveaways and closes the fraud holes that let sanctuary states and shady brokers rake in more from your paycheck than you'll ever even see. So if you're tired of watching your taxpayer dollars pay for criminals to hide while your roads crumble and your kids' schools cut corners, this is the moment. This is what's smart. Strategic leadership looks like, okay? Protect your family, secure the borders, keep your money in your wallet, and never again let the media run the table unchecked. But here's the part that's really going to get you fired up. I mean, we're not done, guys, because I want to go ahead and break down exactly what happens now for every illegal trying to sneak back in and what the new reality looks like under President Trump's plan. Quick hearings, fair treatment, and no sanctuary loopholes left to run to. So you've stuck with me this far. So here's where it all lands. The new reality for anyone who thought America's borders would stay wide open forever, under President Trump, there's no more catch and release. No more show up for court in 7 years, maybe. None of that. Now it's catch and remove. These new high security detention centers, Alligator Alcatraz in Florida, Bear Alcatraz in Alaska, if they want it, and every other version that pops up next, they're all designed for one thing: to break the cartel's business model and slam the back door shut. It's rather simple. If you cross illegally, you get caught and you're not supposed to be here. You're not disappearing into the shadows with an app in your pocket anymore. You're getting a bed, medical care, your day in court, and then a fast ticket out of here. If you're violent, if you're a trafficker, if you're a cartel muscle, you're done. That's what a real deterrent looks like. It's not about cruelty. It's not about hate. It's about protecting Americans first. Because when you finally stop the revolving door, when word spreads that there's no CNN Underground Railroad left, people stop gambling with our laws in the first place. And that's when the flow slows down at the border. The cartels lose power, and the resources that we've wasted for decades finally comes home, back in our neighborhoods, our families, and our kids' future. And so here's what really makes this powerful. President Trump's plan, it respects the law. Every person gets due process. Every case is handled cleanly and fairly. But the loopholes that let criminals hide, run, or game the census, gone. This is the part that legacy media just cannot stand, because when this works, there's no panic story to sell. When the system does its job, there's no fake crisis to profit from. There's just security, order, and a country that finally puts citizens first, just like it was always supposed to do. So where does that leave you and me? Well, I think it leaves us with a very clear choice. Do we sit back while networks like CNN run the same shady playbook over and over and over again? Or do we stand up with the states who are doing something about it? President Trump's message to the nation is clear. We're not waiting around. We're not asking permission from globalist politicians or legacy news anchors. We're restoring the power of law and order, and we're putting that power back in your hands. He's cutting taxes, shutting loopholes, closing back doors, and defending your neighborhoods with bold, real-world solutions, not slogans. He's giving every state that wants to protect its families a clear blueprint. Build the fortress, drain the swamp, guard the gate. And most of all, he's reminding every American, this country is yours. These streets are yours. The vote is yours. The future is yours. And anybody who tries to steal that by hiding in the shadows, gaming the census, or covering for criminals will face the consequences. So here is my message to you if you're watching right now. If you're proud of what states like Florida are doing, share this video. If you want more secret camps ready, drop a comment and let your governor know. Build the fortress now. And if you want CNN and every other trader network to know that we see exactly what they're doing, I want you to hit the like button and share this clip with someone who still thinks that this is just a conspiracy theory. Because the next time that they tell you that there's no escape route, oh, you're going to know it's been exposed. The next time they tell you that the states won't fight back, oh, you're going to know that their secret camps are ready. So I'm glad you guys stayed till the end. Keep your eyes open. Keep your family safe. Keep your voice loud, because America first means putting you first, your family, your safety, your voice. And under President Trump, that's non-negotiable. So anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one.